I tell you, memories, 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 and more memories. Well, I tell you what else is happening right now. We're inside of the morning trend, which is being brought to you the kind confidence of Rick's Cafe. Walk in, dance out. Don't forget Rick's Cafe. They're open for delivery services only from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Last order has to be taken at 4:30 p.m. Right now, got to say special good morning. Those of you all on the Facebook, you're going to be seeing his face right now. Or those of you all that are locked on the radio, you're going to be hearing his voice right now. Special good morning going out to the one and only Problem Child. Good morning.
Good morning, Scratch. What's going on? Good morning, Grenada.
Yes. What's going on, sir?
Everything good. On the road.
On the road, boy. And I know where you are. You're in the middle of all, well, you know, around...
The epicenter of chaos.
The epicenter of chaos. Yes. What could you see or not see from your vantage point? I mean, what's the mood like where you are?
During the day, the mood is the epicenter of chaos is New York City, Brooklyn, New York. For those who may not have figured that out.
Yeah.
During the daytime, as far as where I'm living, it's basically quiet. Not much really happened, you know, given the situation and the circumstances, the COVID situations. We on lockdown. You know, you go outside for your bare essentials or whatever. Even at night, it's basically the same as far as where I'm living. But the city itself is crazy right now. It's like a movie, you know. All what's going on with the death of the gentleman. It's crazy. Like police cars are being set ablaze. The city's on fire. It's smoke. It's sirens. They broke into department stores. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, boy.
Intense. Very intense.
I mean, so basically what you're seeing on the news is a true reflection of what is happening on the ground.
Yes. I mean, everybody put in their own narrative behind it, and everybody's blaming this one and blaming that one. But these things actually are occurring. You know, like I'm on the road right now, like I said, and driving by. Ever so often you will see certain stores or big name or brand name stores, they boarded up their glass windows, their showcases.
Yes.
You know, for fear of being looted.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's real. It's real out here. Real, real, real.
Tell me something. What have you learned about yourself during this pandemic with all the lockdown? And, you know, I mean, granted, you had one of the biggest songs from last year into this year with Nasty Up. And I know your dates would have been through the roof. Right? I mean, I saw when you, before this pandemic, I saw when you put up on Instagram where you had to travel, and Grenada was even one of those destinations.
Yeah.
You were even supposed to come here for, I think it was pre-day.
Yes, sir.
Right? What have you learned about yourself since this pandemic?
That I'm resilient, man, because, you know, you got, when life give you lemons, you have to make lemonade, you know. You know? So right now I'm recording myself at home.
Right.
You know, under the supervision of one Parry Jacques, who you might be familiar with.
Yeah.
You know,
I just might be familiar with him, yeah.
Yeah, you might be. I've invested in my own equipment, you know, interface and so on and so forth, and he set it up for me.
Yes.
Took over my computer via screen sharing. Set up everything for me. So as far as recording, nothing ain't stopped. And if you're smart and you think how music does go sometimes, whatever funds you were making, you would have been saving. So I'm good. I'm good to go. I mean, it could have been better, but I'm not gonna complain because it could have been worse. Added to that, I've been fortunate enough to set up the business aspect of the music business, which is very, very important. It's not just music, it's music business. So I've had that properly set up as far as publishing and royalties and so on and so forth goes. So some source of finance is still alive, you know?
How important, and I mean, it's very important. It's interesting that you mentioned that point, right? Because for the younger artists that are coming up, how important would you say it is for them to get their business right from the get-go? Instead of just, you hear a rhythm, you go and do a thing.
Let me tell you something, right? Not having your business in order is like wanting to be a public speaker with no tongue in your head.
Right.
It ain't making no kind of sense whatsoever. You know, because look at the situation that we're in. And like I said before, of course, touring brings in a bigger amount of finance, but you still have something to fall back on. It is very important to establish the business aspect of the music business, whether it's distribution and everything should be in paperwork, not just a man to the thing. And you set up for that. You understand what I'm saying? It's very, very imperative, very important, very important.
I always say that, you know, talk money first, and then deal with it.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. But the money talk has to happen.
It has to happen,
and it doesn't always have to be money, because I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but based on what we're speaking, I'm gonna say something. I am going to drop an EP, right? Which is a mini album for those who don't know, 5 songs. And I'm working with 3 people, well, 2 people and myself, and no monies were exchanged. It's all word of mouth. But we know and understand each other and what we're doing.
Right.
And there's a 4th party who is the distributor, who's going to be distributing the EP.
Gotcha.
Each one of those 3 people are signed to. So once we agree, and they have record that we agree, nobody put any money up.
But again, as you said, further to your point, there's no guesswork. You know, there's no guessing. There's no guesswork. You have the conversation before the project.
Yes.
Everybody agrees, and then you move forward.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
And I think that's important too, because you know, see, sometimes artists, you know, the smaller ones, have to say, the younger ones, they would do a song, and then the song ends up taking off. Right? Probably didn't expect it to take off, but it takes off. And then you want to start talking about the financial part afterwards. And then some cases you have confusion.
It doesn't go right all the time.
It doesn't go right.
Honestly, nothing is wrong with that as long as you're willing to learn. Because I didn't come into the music business knowing everything either.
Right.
You know, I've learned a lot along the way. So I know what to do now. And one of the producers who I'm working with on the EP actually didn't know, but I told him. Otherwise, he might have been in the same situation I was in, as far as not knowing for his age and for his experience. But he now knows. And up to last night, he was telling me he had no clue how it works. He was just building beats.
Yeah.
You know, he even went as far as telling me he has never received a dime
for
anything he produced. And he has produced songs that we might know.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's going to change. I put a change to that right away.
That's good, man. That's very good. We're speaking with Problem Child right here on Power 95 this morning. What is it you would not take for granted again?
Health.
But Problem, you're a healthy guy. you work out.
Yeah.
Come on,
man. But that doesn't mean you're healthy. You know, anything could be happening internally.
Right.
That you're not seeing, you know, with the naked eye. You know? And a lot of people, like, at one point for like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks straight, every single day, I heard from someone who I knew, you know, I just lost this one. You know, I just lost that one. You know, I just lost this one. It might not have been people who I know, but someone I know for like, picture that every day for 3 weeks straight. Somebody you know telling you, I lost my aunt. I lost my cousin. I lost my mom. You know?
Yeah.
So that put things into perspective, like, you know, life in itself, the simple things in life. And when I was on lockdown, when we really couldn't go anywhere, I realized half the things that we were worried about, or I was worried about, or thinking about, I didn't really need. I just needed food.
Right.
Real talk. Food became the most valuable commodity because you have to eat.
Yes.
Nice clothes didn't matter. Nice car didn't matter. I just wanted food and to live. That's it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, think about the things we just put as important as necessities. We just make certain things necessities. You know? 500 sneakers in my closet couldn't help me.
500. Geez.
Well, I mean, I exaggerated. It's not.
Yeah.
It's more than I need.
I get the point.
It's more than I need, because at that time, where I'm wearing sneakers to go where?
That's true.
And I just want to be healthy.
It's just a case of surviving at that point.
Yeah.
It's just a case of surviving. All right. Let me jog your memory back a little bit. Remember, you were here for Power Turns 4.
Yes,
right?
sir.
You remember you were here for that show, right? You were here for Power Turns 4. Problem Child. I always wanted to ask you this question. When you ran into the fountain, the water at that hour of the morning. Well, I mean, I know Vincy people are no behavior at all. You know, it's a different kind of mentality when you're from.
Man.
Right? Was that planned? I mean, because you came there dressed properly, ready to perform. You did your thing on the. But then I saw, you know, you just went in the people fountain like.
It didn't just happen like that.
It made the music video too.
Yeah, it made the Nasty Up music video is out, and if you want to see that, that's in the video. But one Mr. Duan, the entertainer, big up yourself, big man, had the bright idea. I invited him on stage. Right. I know he was crazy, but I didn't know he was that crazy. So he had the bright idea to jump in the people fountain. But then the plan backfired because I was supposed to be using him as a prop. But he take the microphone and he said, if all you want problem, jump in the water. Put your hand in the and people started carrying on. I'm like, oh boy. Now, me being the Vincy artist and I am, Vincy and Grenada is basically the same thing. Don't let them tell all different.
No, I could tell it.
It's basically the same thing. It's just that we don't have job. You understand? And oil down. But geographically speaking, islands set up the same behavior, same kind of madness, same kind of mass. So once he said that, I had to represent. So the joke is now Talpi say, well, problem, you get baptized in Grenada tonight. so I was Grenadian for the night, So I'm Grenadian by extension, by baptism, I should say.
Right. Yeah, but I tell you, the energy, especially when Carnival comes around, obviously, I've witnessed both Grenada and Vincy Man. And there's just a difference in how people enjoy themselves compared to other islands, especially Trinidad.
Oh, Lord.
A matter of fact, go ahead.
It's a freedom. It's a freedom. It's a kind of freedom. And the crazy thing that is always asked me in Trinidad, like, all you don't get hurt, all you don't damage people. The funny thing is, right? The funny thing is, with all the wildness that we just carry on with, I just see people pelting their hand, flinging their foot any which way. I don't know anybody who was ever seriously hurt. It's almost like it's coordinated.
No,
I don't know anybody who was ever seriously injured from fetting in a Vincy Mass or Grenada Carnival.
I'll tell you something, and some people are going to bash me when I say this, but I've witnessed both. I've been in both, right? Grenada gets on crazy. They have their level of madness that they do, right? But there's just something that is a little bit different about St. Vincent, right? In terms of some of the chances that I see taken, like, for instance, we all know Vincy artist Fireman Hooper and some of the things he would do. Like, I remember there was a time he was performing somewhere in the country in St. Vincent, and there was a fig tree or something so in a woman's yard. And lo and behold, the crowd took it up and went with it under his instruction.
Yeah.
It's
a level. It's a level. I've seen worse. I've seen worse than that. I've had to, while performing in North Leeward, in Vincy, how the poles for the electricity to supply current to the houses where the light poles and the wires run from one end to the next.
What did they do with the electricity pole?
This guy climbed the pole and was attempting to swing on the wire.
The jealous this morning.
I could see that vividly right now while telling you. I could recollect and seeing that. I'm like, yo, big man, stop the music. Big man, please come down, tang.
All right.
And then what he saw it fit to do, because he couldn't climb the pole and swing on the wire, was to roll on the side of a hill. So, in my mind, I'm like, what part of that is dancing?
No, I don't know if it's because people are so, I don't know, oppressed, if that is the correct word, that when these festivities come around, they just want to release everything and just leave everything.
I do believe that's a part of it, but that's just another level of what happens. So I think it's like a silent competition to see who could outdo who with the wildest, craziest behavior. I have footage on my phone of, I don't remember the name of the event, but rain must have fell and it was swampy and muddy. The whole ground turned mud. And these guys were doing cartwheels in their clothes, going to the party.
Tell me,
yeah, go ahead.
tell me something. No, you had a fantastic year. You were in Trinidad for their carnival, right?
Yes, sir.
How was that for you? Because you had a pretty intense schedule. And one thing I must say is that being from Trinidad, for me, I found Trinidad got very nice, right? The all-inclusive. Some of my DJ friends down there would tell me, boy, partying in Trinidad turn like top model. You know, is what you have.
At the time, that was true, yeah. Definitely.
And that kind of thing. However, anytime you hit the stage with Nasty Up down there for their carnival, I noticed the energy of the crowd was almost like Grenada and St. Vincent.
Definitely. Well, we do have a lot of Grenadians and Vincentians in Trinidad, right? And they were somewhat diluted with what they were being fed, you know, for a very long time until songs like I must commend Mr. Killer, Pick Up Something, Run With It.
Yes.
That was one of the songs that kind of start the new movement of this our thing. And like I was telling them, you know, y'all didn't realize what y'all just did because this is what we do every year after year. This is our thing. So once y'all start letting that back in the carnival, we very comfortable. So
when you say letting what back in the carnival?
That vibe, that vibe of soca.
You mean this is here?
Yeah.
Right.
It back into Trinidad carnival. You know, because that's what we do. We never stopped doing that. When Trinidad had lost that part of the music, we never stopped. Grenada never stopped. St. Vincent never stopped. Every year we wild. Every year we crazy. That is why performing this song for me was so easy and effortless. You know, I was having fun. It was like I was being trained over the years for this moment. So everybody was like, problem, have you going on? Thing. They don't even realize that is problem himself. All that singy stuff you was hearing was because that from me personally, was me just trying to feed the market what the market asks for at the moment. But that's not really me. My thing is raunchy, very, very raunchy. I just don't have to write it. So I do my best to deliver it.
Yeah.
You know? So when I went to Trinidad with Nasty Up, it was just to do what I was doing in Vincy for many, many years. And, you know, God blessed me with a song of that nature. And people just started to follow suit the ones. I mean, of course, there were the people who were still in their little high heel and nice clothes mode.
In the corner, like if they had a start.
But, you know, they did their best. If it's put up a one hand, they put up a one hand. You know, I still appreciated it. But for the most part, the parties got wild and crazy. Yeah.
And you dived in the crowd so many times.
I've been diving in the crowd before Trinidad.
Well, I think that's ever theater.
No, you had to know what you're doing. Scratch. It's like I can't mix. You understand? I can't do what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing. And there were a lot of staged diving, you know what I mean, in Trinidad Carnival that happened as well. You know, none of my dives was staged. None.
Where you had a group of people deliberately there to catch you.
That happened once. That happened once, and that's because they did it on their own. But I don't like that. To me, it's not authentic. It's like anybody could do it then. You know what I'm saying? It's like anybody could do it. My thing is I pick in a spot, I watching the crowd while performing 2-3 songs, 2-3 minutes. I already try to figure out, okay, if I have to dive, where would I dive? You know, and I will expose one of my strategies. I was just like hyping up one particular crew. I was just telling them, reverse psychology, you have to be intelligent too. I was like, I bet if I dive in this crowd, they wouldn't catch me. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, of course we're going to catch you. Right.
You
understand? So I just play with their mind until they feel like, nah, we're going to catch you. People were like, that was a show called Black to Blue. And that was the first dive in the entire Trinidad Carnival for this season. Now, don't get it misconstrued. I'm not saying I'm the first person to dive off of a stage in soca music. I'm not saying that. Right? I'm not saying that I invented stage diving or anything of that nature. For this carnival season that just passed, that was the first time anybody dove off a stage in Trinidad. And people were like, people couldn't believe it.
Yeah, boy.
People thought I was crazy. Well, I kind of am, but...
yeah, but, I mean, that event seeing you.
Right. But nobody expected that. Nobody expected that. And when I was setting up the dive after I performed, I got to realize that people backstage, people side stage were saying, they go in and drop him. They go in and drop him. Trinidad people don't catch nobody. They go in and drop him. Unless, so because my dives are so unpredictable, the next thing they started saying is, them artists paying people to catch them when they dive. I know.
Oh, Lord.
Well, you know, that'll come with it, you know.
Yeah,
it's like a bad trait and the positive and the negative, but it's still charging the whole atmosphere. Yep. So that's how that go. Yeah. So and then, you know, a lot of other dives happen, and it was a diving spree. I actually even started asking people to dive. I just stopped diving and just let my friends and them dive off the stage.
Now, my final question, because we're just getting ready to wrap up now. There's no Vincy Mas for 2020, right? Vincy Mas is not happening, just like so many carnivals, right? They're off, right? Yes. Now, you mentioned to me earlier that you're dropping an EP, right? This is geared towards what would have been Vincy Mas, or this is just a body of work that you want to release outside of the season?
It's just a body of work. It's just a body of work. There are no power tracks on it. You know, I have power tracks, but I didn't put any out because power tracks are more celebratory. You know, like you have to see what it does when you release it. And I didn't want to put it out and it didn't get the attention it deserved, and then nobody can party to it, and then it fades. You know, this is more like a care package, like a first aid kit, just to stop the bleeding a little bit. You know? Just for the fans, even as appreciation for them to just like listen while you're driving in your cars if you have to go out, while at home, and enjoy some good music and see what Problem Child has to offer as well.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Thanks very much for your time, Problem.
Easy.
Stay safe in New York, and I'm looking forward to hear that EP and whatever work you have to come out, because you're one of the top writers in the game right now.
Thank you very much. Big up, me brethren.
Yes, sir.
Go off now.
Huh? What's that?
I'm just bigging up Terra now.
Terra
the Governor.
Oh, Terra the Governor.
Yeah, yep. Shanty Mel. Everybody St. George's, yeah, man.
Yeah, boy. You know Grenada well, boy.
Yeah.
All right, respect.
Right. Big up. Big up.
You need a passport, boy.
Right. Later.
Yeah, man, later. That was Problem Child right here on Power 95 this morning. It came to you with the compliments of Rick's Cafe. Walk in, dance out. Your morning trend this morning on Power. Don't forget Rick's Cafe. They are open. Delivery services only from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. You got to place your order by 4:30 p.m. Stick around. We've got your hit list and more coming up right here on Power 95.